want to try to get a good chunk of everything.
This is big world where they're either really surly or they just don't even talk to you. Like I've looked at someone in the eyes and I've said, welcome.
Oh my gosh, so much flavor.
Like why are you here? Why do
so much flavor.
If you don't
cold.
Even pay attention, you don't even say
Pineapple.
The suspense is killing us. Pretty tasty.
Pretty tasty. It's cheesy, which is important.
Cool.
I think I'll give it a pass.
Okay.
Make sure I get a lot of. No, I'm gonna get one where it's the cheese that matters.
midway just you ever seen
So it's either real good or real bad.
It's really good
Okay.
because cheese doesn't always taste
it's a greasy
like
spoon,
cheese.
isn't it?
Right.
It tastes like cheese.
Okay.
Beyond beef rice. It's like fried rice with beyond beef. It is.
Pepper and black pepper and good. And a little bit of
I like it. The flavors are good.
Cool. Hello, my name is Elijah Bilel, and I've been a vegan for over 10 years. In 2016, the Veggie Outers was formed to help more people consume more plant-based foods and get access to education and resources. We've since evolved into reviewing the restaurants that we pay a visit, based on the price, the atmosphere, customer service, and the food. We don't forget to have some fun in the process though. Join us in yet another review where we go to a restaurant and give the food a try.
All right, so atmosphere is really good.
Food on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say 7.
Service? There is no service.
Yeah, so I think the food was really good.
They include the free, they include the drink if you buy a meal. So honestly, that's pretty good. You can't get that in many places. So I would say 8.
The pork was very good. I loved the seasoning and the texture. The mac and cheese.
Sup Veggie Outers, this is Elijah, and we're at the Loving Hut restaurant. I'm recording this in my car because this is after the fact. Didn't have time to record the intro inside during the meetup, but we're at Loving Hut in Arlington, and we're going to give them a review based on the customer service, the food, the price, and the atmosphere. So let's get to it. Okay, what do you think of your food today on a scale of 1 to 10?
I would say that my food altogether was probably like a 7 and a half. I had the seitan chicken strips. They were good, and they were like crispy, like they had a really good texture. They just didn't really have a lot of seasoning or like flavor to them. But the pizza was really good. It just didn't have like the amount of sauce that I would have liked, but it was really good. Like the crust was also really good and had a good texture also. So I would say overall like a 7 and a half.
Okay. Hey, Gal, what did you get on the menu today?
I got the portobello sandwich with a side of potato salad, and Lynn and I shared one of those crispy tempeh things. Crispy tempeh. Crispy what? Strips. Yes, crispy strips.
Gotcha. And how did those stroke your taste buds?
I liked everything. It was funny because they call it a portobello sandwich, but it's more like a Philadelphia. It's more like a, it's more like a, what do you call a cheesesteak? That's what I was trying to say. I knew Philadelphia was part of it. Yeah, it's kind of more like a cheesesteak, and I was kind of surprised because I think there's tempeh in there too. I think it's portobello and tempeh because it seemed like maybe there was more than just portobello in there, but there was a little bit of cheese. I think it was Daya cheese, which isn't my favorite, but it doesn't stand out in the sandwich. With all the other stuff in there, it was really good. So I'll say I give all that food a 10. I can't think of anything I would take a star away for.
Okay, so Lynn, what did you get on the menu today?
I got the BLT with potato salad, and the strips we split.
Okay. How did that accommodate your taste buds?
I would definitely give it a 10. It was very good. The cheese was good without being spicy or overpowering, because usually a lot of vegan cheese, it was almost like a cheese sauce, but it wasn't spicy at all. It was just a nice complement to the bacon and tomato, or the seitan and tomato.
Okay, Daisy. What'd you get on the menu?
So I got the fried rice with Beyond Meat.
Should be good as long as it took on the bacon.
And what would you give that on a scale of 1 to 10?
I give it a 10. It was really good. The flavors were good. It didn't last that long. I finished it all, so I enjoyed it.
Okay, so what's your diet? Are you a vegan or a vegetarian or what?
I'm vegan, 5 years.
And what'd you order on the menu?
So we had the Hawaiian pizza, and then we had the Bianca. So we had a few options here to try different flavors.
Okay, and what would you give that on a scale of 1 to 10?
The pizzas were quite similar, however, like they did have different ingredients, so the flavors differed. I personally like the Hawaiian pizza the most. We'll give the pizzas a solid 8.
Okay. Good, right? So, Monica, what did you get on the menu today?
I got the baguette charm.
Okay. And what would you give what you ate today on a scale of 1 to 10?
I give it a 9.
Okay. So, what's your diet?
Oh, well, my diet is most likely 97% vegan or plant-based. And then the other, I'm not 100% plant-based yet, put it that way.
Okay. And what did you get on the menu today?
Today I got the nacho cheese, is what it was called. So it's like nachos. And then I got the Mexican wrap. And it was delicious. It was delicious.
And what would you give that on a scale of 1 to 10?
1 to 10, I would say like a 9. Yeah. I was pleased with the cheese on the nachos, and the flavor of the Mexican wrap was delicious. So, yeah, I would definitely come back.
Okay, Mike, what'd you get on the menu?
I got the raw pasta, which is made out of zucchini, and then the sauce has tomatoes, cashews, garlic, bell pepper, and it's completely raw. I also got a side of potato salad.
And how did that stroke your taste buds?
It was really good. There was a variety of flavors in the sauce. There was a freshness from the herbs that they used. I loved the garlic, and the tomatoes were also very fresh. There was a little bit of a kick too, which is nice. Even the potato salad was really good too. Like they had a nice kind of slight kick at the end. It didn't taste like a typical potato salad. So it was really good.
Okay, so what number would you give it?
I would give it a 9 out of 10. Yeah.
So, Raven, what's your diet?
I am a vegan, 7 years strong.
Okay, and what did you get on the menu today?
I got the veggie spring rolls, the seitan chips, chicken strips, and the raw pasta, zucchini pasta.
And how did that stroke your taste buds? What would you give it on a scale of 1 to 10?
Scale of 1 to 10, I'll give it a 10.
And how about the atmosphere of this place?
Well, it is very hot. So I would say that's, I think that it's probably like a smaller place where they probably aren't like expecting like large groups of people, like kind of how we're here today. So I would say there's not really much ambience. Not really much ambience, I would say. Yeah, it's pretty hot and like kind of muggy, and yeah.
So what would you give it on a scale of 1 to 10?
Scale of 1 to 10, I would say about a 7 if I included ambience and food. I would say about a 7.
I like it, it's a little small for a group like this, but I never hold that against them because little small places they have their place. They just don't always accommodate a huge crowd that well. But I love the posters. I sat here and read that entire notable people poster, and there's all everywhere all through here. There's vegan posters with all kinds of information. I like the decor. I like the live plants we were talking about earlier. So I don't have any argument against this. I'm going to give them a 10 on the atmosphere as well.
Oh, I'd give it a 9. It's just, and that's just because it's very small, and I mean, but they do have it nicely decorated. They've got those big windows that make it a little warm in here. That's the only thing that would knock a point off for me. Is in the evening, it's I can feel the heat coming from those windows.
Good point.
The atmosphere, I'll give it a 9. You know, it was okay. You know, I like the plants in the background, and it was like good ambience. You know, good conversation.
And how about the atmosphere? Like how this place makes you feel, the visual decor. What would you give it on a scale of 1?
Yeah, for the size of this place, I think it's pretty spacious. Like you can fit a lot of people, as you can see. So, you know, the space, I will give it a 7. Environment, yeah.
And how about the atmosphere?
It's too hot, so I'll give it a 7.
And what would you give the atmosphere? Like, what did you think of this place? Like the visual decor, how did it make you feel? What would you give it on a scale of 1 to 10?
Probably a 2, maybe. But that's nothing about the place. It's just a very small, quaint place. So it's not a place where you'd be like, how can I say it? It's just not a big space. That's really the only reason. That's the only reason. Otherwise, it's just fine.
I think the atmosphere is pretty nice. It is a little small, but there seems to be a good amount of decor. I actually really liked the outside, like coming in. The outside is really, it kind of draws you in. But the vibe is pretty cool inside, yeah. So I would give it a 9.
I'll give the atmosphere a 7. I would give it a 10, but they could do a little bit more, maybe some music or something, you know. But I really like the atmosphere. Typically, you can talk to any stranger who walks in here. We actually met a couple who were here earlier, and they felt comfortable to ask us, you know, who we are, what we're doing, and they signed up. And that's the whole point of this. So perfect.
Okay, this is a bad habit. I gotta stop doing this. But I'm doing my review in my car because we're starting to run out of time. So the food I would give, well, first I got it's on the screen right now, but it has a Beyond Meat and it's the type of fried rice. I took the bell peppers off. I would give that food a 10 because I actually like, I usually like any kind of fried rice, but they actually had the option to add Beyond Meat instead of tofu. Big plus for me, and I enjoyed it, so it gets a 10. As far as the atmosphere, I think that it really paints the plant-based theme. As you saw from the footage, you had like live plants that was decorated all over the place. They had prompts related to veganism all over the place. I would give them an 8 simply because I'm gonna knock 2 points because it was too hot in there. And it wasn't just me, some people were, you know, sweating. Obviously, it's not gonna be like summer all year round, so that's gonna be a variable thing, but I got to knock some points off of that. It was just a little too hot. As far as the customer service, despite only one person being like at least in the service area, I think she overperformed. I mean, as far as like getting everything out and being accommodating, I think she did a good job. I give her a 9. As far as the price goes, this is one of the first vegan restaurants that was in the Metroplex period. And somehow they kept their prices more or less the same despite inflation and other restaurants popping up and them raising their prices. So I'm gonna actually give them a 10. I think it's very well priced. Probably one of the best options out there in terms of pricing when it comes to vegan restaurants.
Is your fear of personal finance holding you back from going after what you want? What if I told you there was a way to get rid of your insecurities? Every person has their own way of making money, budgeting style, and a way of spending money. The key to financial success is the ability to use the right styles for you that ensure success. So rather than making you focus on avoiding your emotions, this book focuses on empowering them and using them to achieve what you want. Learn how to build and increase the income streams you desire. Understand how to budget your money in a way that you are always moving forward financially. Know how to remove stress from spending money by knowing what works best for your personality. Learn methods to effectively evaluate a financial opportunity within minutes to see if it is right for you. The anatomy of financial success. The key to building financial confidence and destroying insecurities about money. Buy now. Available in ebook, audiobook, and paperback.
And how about customer service?
Customer service is great. I know, she's doing a really good job of taking care of everyone and making sure that everyone's getting their food, and she's very friendly, very nice. So I would say the customer service is really great. I would say about a 9, especially kind of given the circumstances. So yeah, I would say a 9.
I'm going to sound like I'm way too easy, but 10. There's nothing, I mean, normally I think this is a go up to the front, pay, and go sit down place, but she kind of accommodated us for such a big group. She took some of our orders at the table. Some people went up and paid, but she took some of our orders at the table. And just to make it easier so that we wouldn't line up and make a big clog at the front. And yeah, I got no problem with that. I say 10 on that too.
I'd give her a 10. She seems to be doing all the customer service herself, and she's being attentive to everybody, and so I'd give her a 10.
I would give her a 10. You know, she came and took our orders. Like, there was no issues with the orders. It did take a little bit of time to get the food because they're cooking it from scratch, but other than that, we had no issues.
And what would you give the customer service on a scale of 1 to 10?
So that might be a little tricky to say because, there's a group of us today, so, it's going to be a little bit more overwhelming. But I would say, 7, 8 customer service, yeah.
And what would you give the customer service?
So the inmates can 0.
Really?
Yeah. There was no apology for the lateness or anything like that, and yeah.
Okay.
I would say a 9. I'm pleased. It was one person, and she dealt with a lot of folks, and I don't think anybody's orders were incorrect. I've gone to other places with far more wait staff, and orders are correct, or you never get your order ever. So I was pleased.
I thought the service was pretty good. I might be a little bit biased because we're coming, I'm kind of comparing it to Vegan Voodoo from our last experience where we had a lot of people. Today we seem to have a lot of people, which I don't think this place is necessarily used to, but they handled it really well. For the most part. I know some people didn't get their food right away, not mentioning any names, but for the most part, everyone seemed to get their food. I was one of the last people to get mine, but it wasn't such a big deal. They seemed to handle the operations pretty well, so I'd probably give it 8.5.
And what would you give the customer service on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'll give that a 7. I'll give it an 8 because she was by herself, and it's a lot of us.
And how about the price on a scale of 1 to 10?
Price, I would say about an 8. Just because I know for vegan pizza, I got the pizza, I usually pay way more than that. Like another vegan place, I pay like almost $25 for the same size and less toppings. So I would say for the price, I would say about an 8, 8.5.
The price is like the sandwich is priced the way it would be priced at any place, whether it's vegan or not. So again, no complaints. I'm gonna say 10. It makes it sound like I'm saying this is like the #1 A1 perfect vegan place, but I can't help it. I have nothing I can take a star away from. And this is my first time being here, even though this place has been here for a long time. I don't know what took me so long, but yeah, I like it.
And how about the price?
And I'm also going to give the price a 10. The same thing that Gail said. You know, you would pay the same amount for a sandwich and a side at any restaurant, whether it's vegan or not. So there's not a big upcharge for it being vegan. So I was very happy with the price.
The price, I'd give it an 8. You know, it's typical for vegan food. It wasn't too expensive, or it was just right.
The price, I think that's where this place is worth it, because you know the price are pretty reasonable for the amount of food that you get. So I will give it a 9 actually.
And what would you give the price?
Oh, it was fair. I would say like, I'd say like a 9. It was fair.
Okay. And what would you rate the price on a scale of 1 to 10?
A 9. Pricing seems in line with what I got. Yep.
The price was pretty decent, actually. I think I paid like 12 something for. Actually, I didn't even pay yet, but yeah, I think it was 12 something for the pasta dish, and then $2.50 for the side. I've seen someone else got a cheesecake, which is less than $5. So I think the price is really reasonable. So I would give it a 9.
And what would you rate the price on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, a 10. It's very cheap compared to eating out.
Be sure to check out our website for more reviews from the Veggie Outers. I'll catch you later.